Yesu, Yesu, fill us with your love. Show us how to serve the neighbors we have from you.
Hey, welcome back everyone to another great day at Who Is My Neighbor Sunday School. The last time we saw Sage, she was in the middle of telling us a story that Jesus told her in answer to our theme question. And here she is now. Hello there, everyone. It is so good to see you again. I've missed you so much. I can't wait to tell you more of the story that Jesus told me. But before I continue, do you remember the first part of the story? A man was traveling to Jerusalem when some robbers came and beat him up and stole all of his stuff and left him. And then, let me see, one person passed by, but he was not very helpful. Why did he say he couldn't help the man? That's right. That first person just walked on by. He wasn't much of a neighbor because he said he didn't know him. But we talked about how you don't have to know somebody to be their neighbor, because everyone is our neighbor because we're created and loved by God. So you'll never guess what happened next. Well, let me get my book. All right, so check this out. So, likewise, a priest's helper, when he came to the place and saw him, he passed by on the other side too. Oh, can you believe that? I mean, if another person just walked on by that poor man who was in so much need. Oh, is everybody in such a hurry? I don't know, but isn't that him right over there? Why don't you ask him? I will. I'm gonna give him a piece of my mind. Hey, you there, stop! Who, me? Yes, you. Didn't you see that poor guy lying along the side of the road? Practically stepped right on top of him, and you just kept on going. Why didn't you stop and help him? Well, yeah, I saw him, and, you know, I wanted to help, but, well, I was scared. You were scared? Well, what was there to be scared of? Well, I was scared what to do first of all. I mean, this man, you know, he needed a lot of help, and I didn't know how to begin. I mean, and, you know, true. We can always pray, and ask God for help. Oh, thank you for all of your help. You've given me a lot to think about. And the next time I see someone who needs help, well, maybe I'll be able to do something and I'll be less afraid. And I better go. Wow, you're really getting good at this being a neighbor thing. What do you mean? Well, look how you were just a neighbor to that person. He was scared because he didn't know what to do. And you helped him by giving him some really great advice. Well, I guess I did. I knew how he felt. As we've been learning over these last couple of months about how many neighbors we have, I've been feeling kind of overwhelmed myself about how I could help them. I understand how he didn't have very much to offer. I mean, sometimes I feel that way too, even though I am super smart. Anyway, but because I've been learning all this new stuff with you, all of you, I also know that I am not alone. There are all kinds of other people in the world who can help me help others. And I learned from the very beginning that the biggest help we have is God. We never have to be afraid because we have God by our side. That reminds me of our theme verse. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear. How about that? Oh, I like that because we are loved by God. We don't ever have to be afraid. Oh, thanks to everyone for helping me with this next section of the story. I can't wait to come back and tell you what happens next. Us too. Bye. Goodbye. Well, now why don't we sing our theme song, Yesu, Yesu, and you'll see the motions to go along with it. We're going to add a couple of verses this week, so be ready.
Yesu, Yesu, fill us with your love, show us how to serve the neighbors we have from you. Kneels at the feet of his friends, silently washes their feet. Master who acts as a slave to them. Yesu, Yesu,
something about our partners in ministry around the world.
I wonder what country we're going to visit this month. We're going to Africa, to a country called Rwanda. Over 1 million people live in Rwanda. Rwanda is also known as the land of 1,000 hills because most of the country is rolling, grassy hills. Half of the world's mountain gorillas live in Rwanda. Soccer, volleyball, basketball, cricket, and running are popular sports in Rwanda. Do you remember the theme verse for today? There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear. 1 John 4:18. And what's today's theme? No fear! What kinds of things make you afraid? What about your parents? Do you think they are ever afraid? Everyone has something that scares them, even adults. For adults who take care of children, parents, grandparents, and other caregivers, thinking about kids being hurt or not having the things they need can be pretty scary. But with God, perfect love casts out fear. Our church works with other churches to make sure that parents don't have to be afraid about what might happen to their children. One of these parents is Angelique, who lives with her son Frank in Rwanda. In Rwanda, a violent war not that long ago left lots of children, almost 750,000, without parents to take care of them. Frank's father died when he was only 2 years old, and his mother, Angelique, was very sick. Angelique had a serious disease called HIV, and as he got older, Frank had to help take care of her. Without his father and with Angelique's illness, the family was very poor, and Angelique worried about Frank. What do you think some of the things that Angelique might have worried about? Angelique worried a lot about Frank's future. Frank was a good student. He worked hard and got good grades. But Angelique was scared that without money to pay for school, he wouldn't be able to get an education and a good job when he got older. They were members of the Lutheran church in Rwanda, and the church knew that a lot of parents were worried about their kids, just like Angelique. So the church started a scholarship program that would help them pay for school. Our church worked with them, providing support to get it started. Frank's good grades earned him a scholarship, and he was able to go to school. Altogether, the church was able to help 136 children get the supplies and money they needed to go to school. When Angelique heard about the scholarship, her fears turned to joy. She said, "Indeed, God is great." There were lots of things Frank, Angelique, and their neighbors could be scared of: violence, sickness, and the future. But because God works through our church and their church in Rwanda, Frank and Angelique don't have to be afraid. They can be hopeful about their future, and so can we.
We've got a new song this week that reminds us that we don't need to be afraid. Be bold, be strong. study again with our imagination station. See you then. Bye.
Yesu, Yesu, fill us with your love. Show us how to serve the neighbors we have from you.